There was a man who had two sons, worked together on the farm, fed the family, supported their livelihood, and boys being boys, one of the boys decided eventually that he didn't want to be there anymore. So he asked his father for his share of the estate. Father said, okay, we'll do this your way. Probably thought a little better of it, but he went ahead and he got together his share of the estate. And it wasn't long after that the young man figured, I can afford to move. I can leave. I don't need to be here anymore. So he did. Moved out of the country even. He moved out of the country and began to lead a lifestyle that was well beyond his means. Oh, he had the money to afford it for a while, but it wasn't long before all the money was gone. He bought too many things, bought things he didn't need, threw fancy parties, but the money was gone. He was broke. And when you get broke, it's not too long before you get hungry. So he thought, unfortunately, I'm going to have to find a job. So he did. He went to another farmer, since he figured, I know farm work, I can make a living at this. But he wasn't quite prepared for what he was about to see. You see, this farmer was a pig farmer. And while he knew pigs, he knew about them, the farmer simply put him out to feed the pigs. And he started to think back to the time on his farm when the servants were getting their meals, and he began to remember that these servants were throwing away more food than these pigs were eating. And he imagined himself going to his father and saying, Father, I'm not even worthy of being your son anymore. I'm not worthy to be a part of this family. But if you'll take me back, I'll gladly take a job out here working in the fields as one of your servants, live with the servants, be one of your servants, if you'll just take me back. He left the pig farmer and he set out to go back home. And as he was finally nearing his father's house, he looked off in the distance and he could see the servants out working in the fields, and all the memories came rushing back and how happy he actually was when he had been there to begin with, and started to, of course, wish that he had never left. Well, the father looked up from what he was doing there on the farm and saw this figure of a young man off in the distance. And it didn't take long before he realized, that's my son. Father ran, went out to him, met him, almost knocked him down, hugged him, even tears. And before the son could even begin to say any of the things that he had imagined himself saying, the father called to his servant and said, kill the fatted calf, bring him a robe, get him some decent clothes, some new shoes, a ring for his finger. We need to celebrate. He's home. All that stuff that had happened before didn't matter anymore. He was home. Well, the second son, he came back from his job in the fields after a long, hard day. He was hot, he was tired, I'm sure he was hungry. And as he came nearer to the house, he could smell the food cooking. And he heard the music playing and all the commotion going on. And he asked one of the servants, what is all this? What's going on? And the servant told him, said, your father told us to kill the fatted calf to throw a party because your brother came back. But he went to the father and said, Father, how could you do this to me? How could you do this to me? I've been the one who has stayed here, who has supported you, supported this family. I've worked on the farm. I've worked my fingers to the bone. And this is how you thank me, by throwing my brother a party when he was the one who left. And see, here's the real key point. The most important part. The father told this son, yes, he did leave, though he took his share. He moved away. He went through it all and he came back. But son, you have stayed with me. You remained faithful, and everything that I have is yours.